Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And for today's video, we are going to be doing some frame restoration on the first gen, going over it, trying to get it all cleaned up before the new engine goes back in. Also, we're going to go around in the engine bay, get that all touched up. Tyler's been here most of the day, kind of getting a head start on it, but he ran back to his house to get a bite to eat, and I just got here, so now I'm going to jump into it before he gets back. As for Ruby goes, I told y'all I was going to go over it and kind of see what we could figure out while we was losing power and such. After watching the videos multiple times, what looks like a gear shift in there really ain't a gear shift. It just it quits blowing smoke for a second, and I didn't shift gears, and that points me to no other thing but fuel. So, I'm going to change the filters out. There's a fuse thing up here from the FASS that's giving me a little bit of an issue. I'm going to fix it and hopefully make a next pass. We are going to UCC this weekend. So if you want any content on UCC, I'm probably going to post some on here. So we're probably not going to be able to test Ruby before UCC, but possibly the weekend after it. I don't know anywhere that I'm going to be able to catch up during the week, so that's probably not going to happen. But we're going to go ahead and jump right into this framework and see what all we can't get done on it. Alright guys, so I was just going to give you all an update on what we're doing. When I took the battery out on the passenger side, we connected them two wires to have a ground for the alternator. So we're going to solder them together, get that all touched up. Then we're going to change this fuse bracket for the FASS fuel system. I got a 220. We talked to the guys at FASS. This is having issues. It's blowing fuses and stuff. So we're going to change this, put a lighted fuse in there with a lighted fuse holder. That way you know when it's blue easier. And then the guy told us to eliminate any more fuses being blown, to on the fuel system, take these two wires and cut them on each side and just get away from this plug, and that should eliminate the fuel system. We're also going to put connector grease on the relay. It's down in here somewhere, and we're going to put connector grease on it, connector grease on the fuse. That way we make sure all the connections are good and we don't ever have a problem with that, because that could have potentially been our problem the other night when we was racing, due to the fuses and all that stuff creating a lack of fuel, which there shouldn't be a lack of fuel with the 220 pump. But we're getting that taken care of, and that should eliminate our problem. And then we're going to get some new filters. I ain't determined if I'm going to go back with cap filters or not, but we're looking into that to see what we got to do, because on the water separator, the O-ring has to be 1/2 inch thick or 1/4 inch thick. I can't remember what that guy said. So that way you have no leakage of pressure. So that's what we're doing to it right now. So I was just keeping y'all up to date. So Tyler got the engine bay all buttoned up, everything painted, touched up, a heck of a lot better than what it was looking like. We got Ruby's wiring all taken care of with new fuses, new battery terminal. Took care of them wires on the fuel system itself. Just done away with this connector here and ran the wires straight. And hopefully that'll fix our problem. Of course, there's only one way to find out, and that's get on it a little bit. But we'd have to take it down the road to do that, and I don't know if we're going to do it tonight, but we may, who knows. But hopefully that'll fix Ruby's fuel problem and possibly cut out the fuel issue in 4th gear that we had the other night. Alright guys, I know I got stuff all over my face, but we just took Ruby for a spin after we fixed all the fuel and stuff, and it is running at, well, it was running like 50% the other night compared to what it just run. And it actually surprised me after everything that we actually done to it has actually started showing now. The other night was like a stroll in the park compared to the way it just performed. Yeah, down in Mexico. Anyways, but we're going to go ahead and start doing some valve lash on the 12 valve. And that'll probably wrap up the night. So we're going to go ahead and jump into it.
Alright guys, so I'm going to show y'all a little trick. Something comes in pretty handy on a 12 valve. You know, if you got a 24 valve or a common rail, you can just stick a straw or something down through the injector hole and find your top dead center. But on 12 valve, it's kind of tough to do that because the injector comes in over here at the side. So something we found that we use. If you forget, put your motor on top dead center before you put your head on like we did and torque all these lovely head studs. You don't want to take them all back off and all that. So to find your top dead center, there's a point right here where number 6 is going to reach what they call crossover. It's kind of like the breakover point where if DJ moves this motor at all, either either your intake or exhaust is going to go up or it's going to go down. It's kind of like the breaking point. Right there you can see if he moves it either way, one of them goes up and one of them goes down. So you get them right there at the equal point where they're both even, and that'll put number 1 on top dead center. And from there you can adjust the valves that it calls for. It's
1, 2, and 4 intake, and 1, 3, and 5 exhaust.
So that's how you get number 1 on top dead center. To do the other process, you just do the same thing, but you get number 1 at its crossover. Whenever they get to where they need to be, you can adjust the rest of the valves,
which is intake 1, 5, or 3, 5, and 6, and exhaust 2, 4, and 6.
So that's just like a neat little trick to show you to get everything on top dead center, to adjust your valves, and worked out pretty good. We had these valves backed all the way out because we didn't want any pressure on anything. We were torquing everything down, the head studs and everything. So keep that in mind if you're ever doing this. You want to find your top dead center. It's not 100% exact top dead center, but it's close enough to do your valve lash.
Alright guys, so that's pretty much going to wrap up tonight. Look at Tyler. And we got the valve covers on all the bolts. We are going to go back and put breathers. We ain't determined yet what we're going to do. We're probably going to put breathers in all of those. Just a little more touch up on Ruby. Like I said, it was running way better than it was the other night. And me and Tyler's come to the conclusion that with the pump that we have and the way that it's set up, that we've pretty much met the max limit for the truck the way that it sets without dropping probably about 10 grand in it. So I mean, alternate routes would be bigger turbos and injection pumps and things like that. I mean, there's still a little bit of playroom in there that we have, you know, possibly like 100 to 150 horsepower to play with. I definitely didn't expect the truck to run the way that it did when we took it for a drive, but I'm just trying to sum that up for y'all. But that's pretty much going to wrap this thing up. Hit that like button, subscribe, and we'll catch y'all in the next one.